Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is your Manchester United versus Aston Villa match preview and Michael Carrick press conference reaction. Let's go straight into the press conference, guys. Without further ado, let's have a listen to see what Michael
Are there any
Carrick
players
has
back
to
or unavailable for this
say.
match?
Yeah, it's been a good week. Yes, obviously the result was disappointing in the way the game ended. It was obviously disappointing. I think we've kind of digested that and looked at it and learned from it, and trained really well this week. Boys are itching to get going on Sunday now.
In terms of the team news, Matthias de Ligt, Mason Mount, Lissandro Martinez, are you able to offer any guidance on when they might be back, or are they back?
Mason's back with the group, which is fantastic.
Okay, cool.
He's an important player for us, Mason, and to have him back and involved, I think is a good step for us, definitely. So he's not 100% in terms of back, because he's only trained a very small amount of time, but he's back, and that's good for us. So we'll see whether he's involved or not on Sunday, but it's a big step for him, so we're happy with that. And
All right.
yeah, that's it in terms
Mason
of players
Mount.
coming back for now.
Positive Mason Mount news.
Michael, good to see you again. Paul Scholes made some comments after the Newcastle defeat, and he also said since then that it was taken out of context a little bit. He's spoken to you since. Just wonder what that interaction was like, if you can share a little bit, but also your experience at this club and your relationship with past teammates. How much can that help, defuse maybe situations like that maybe in the past do get kind of exploded a little bit, more noise on the players? How important can that be?
There was nothing really. There's nothing to say about it really. I think that's just where we're at in terms of social media and things and captions and quotes, and it can be taken in different ways. So just be calm about it and understand actually what the real meaning of things. Listen, there's different opinions out there, and it's fine. People can have different opinions.
Good answer.
It's just things get taken way out of one extreme to the other, and it is what it is. But I'm not worried about it, so I don't make a big deal of it either.
I like that, guys.
Hi, Michael. You okay? You managed Morgan Rogers at Middlesbrough. You could well face him on Sunday. Have you been surprised at all at the sheer speed with which he's become such a key sort of Premier League and indeed international player?
Yeah, listen, first of all, it's fantastic for me to see Morgan going on to do so well. And he's did it for a good period of time now, and he had the initial signing in the January, and wasn't really sure how it was going to go. It was a step for him, and hadn't really played for an awful long time at Middlesbrough, really. So I've naturally felt probably he could have done a little bit more, but as soon as he's gone to Aston Villa, and he's taken huge steps and quickly, and been a major part of their team and part of the England team as well. So it just shows how well he's done. We could always see what he was possibly going to be capable of and the potential there in terms of what he could do, his attributes, where he carries the ball, play off his left foot, play off his right foot, score goals, and really good athletically. So there was a lot of things there, positives, obviously, why we took him to start with. But to see him go on and have such an impact would probably be more than I would have expected, probably more than Morgan himself would probably expect.
That's very interesting.
It's great to see.
More than you thought he was in a B, which means you didn't see.
So well. Obviously, when we come against him, it's a different story. But
you didn't see it.
He's a good person. He's really great to work with. So I'm delighted he's doing so well.
Okay.
Say. Hi, Michael. Just about Jadon Sancho. You were here when he signed. I think he scored 2 goals in the 3 games under you. It seemed at that point like he was going to have a really good career at United. Are you surprised at the way things have worked out over the last few years?
You can never be surprised with anything in football. I think it's one of those things. Sometimes you come to a club, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't quite work. That's natural. Happens at every club. Jadon's got talent, that's why he came to the club to start with, and he's had some really good moments. And for whatever reason, I don't know. I've not been here for a period of time. he's then finding himself at Aston Villa. So he had obviously a good spell at Dortmund as well in Champions League final. So he's certainly got talent, and he's playing a lot this season. So credit to him for that, and he's having an impact, and playing a lot of games. What happens next and how moving forward, then we'll just have to wait and see.
Chris.
Good answers, Carrick. Carrick ain't biting nothing. He ain't getting sucked into no crap.
Given the fact you're coming off your first defeat, and given
he's a good player, he's a very talented boy.
The points,
he's always going to be.
Qualification for the Champions League. Is this the biggest test maybe since your first couple of games?
I think we're always in a test. I think it's always about what's next, what you're going to react, whether you've won, whether you haven't won, whether you've drawn, what's going to be the reaction, what's the group, what's the emotions in it, how do we make the best of it, what's the motivation for the next game, and driving that forward. So I understand with it being the first defeat, if you like, feels a little bit different, but it's going to come at some point. I think you look through the league.
I said that to my chat. It was always going to come.
If not every team has suffered that in recent times. So
it's how we react to this defeat now.
Really, and
how do we react to this defeat, guys?
Putting it in shape where we know where we can improve, what we can do better. We're taking a lot of confidence from as a group what we can and what we show we can achieve and how we can play. So. It's been a really good week in many ways, and excited. It's an important game. There's no getting away from it. It's a fantastic game. We've put ourselves in a position now where there's an awful lot to play for, and then so yeah, fully really embracing the situation at the moment and looking forward to the next game.
Hi Michael. JJ Gabriel trained with the first team again this week, and he's obviously been incredible over the last few months. Would you consider putting him in the matchday squad this season?
He's not. It's too young.
How difficult has it been for the club to manage the attention that he has got over the last few months?
No, he's doing really well, JJ. We've got some really good young players in the academy, and we try and get the younger players up as much as we can. And 21s are kicking off in 25 minutes as well, so we're looking forward to finishing this and going to watch them.
Look at Carrick. Look at under 21s. I can't wait to watch the under 21s. Look at this guy, Man United.
Expose and give that exposure to the players to come and train and feel it. JJ's a big talent. It's pretty obvious to know that, and he's had a really good season for the under 18s, and we obviously think an awful lot of him, but patience is important in managing everything that comes with that.
He's 15 years old.
Development is
where the Premier League is going right now. He's not. Look at that max spread from Arsenal. He hasn't really played this season. He had 1 or 2 minutes and maybe in that cup game, whatever. We ain't really seen this max spread. The max is like a year older than JJ. So
it's good to have the younger players come up with us.
Hi, Michael. Harry Maguire's been back in the team a couple of months now, and obviously been a big part of the early successes you've had. He's 33 now. There's an England squad next week. I wouldn't expect you to try and pick Thomas Tuchel's squad for him, but is Harry showing the sort of form you would have expected and hoped of him, and sort of peak Harry Maguire, if you like?
Harry's been playing well, I think. Yeah, it's pretty obvious to say that. I think he's. Considering you look back not too long ago, he was out for a considerable period of time as well, injured. So he came straight back in when we arrived really, and so there's been a little bit of managing him as well through the weeks in the games and the game.
Yeah, our centre back situation has improved,
and getting him right up to speed, if you like, physically, and I think he's just showed his experience, in situations, the composure, know what it feels like, understands what it takes, and he's done ever so well. It's whatever's going to happen with England's going to happen with England, but he's definitely put himself back in the frame. If he was ever out of it, he's definitely in the frame. And
in your opinion,
hopefully, from my point of view, he gets picked and he goes.
All right. There you have it, guys. Been a while since we have touched base. It's been a minute, people, since we sat together and watched a Michael Carrick press conference. We've just done it. We've just watched his press conference. I have the major quotes from that press conference. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get ready for the for the Aston Villa game. Newcastle is a team that beat us just under 2 weeks ago. So welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Chosen Wisdom Football. let's get into the quotes, guys. Michael Carrick has said that Mason Mount, as you can see on your screen, people, is back with the group. All the heavens have opened up, the sun is shining, and all is right with the world because Mason Mount is back. Well, sarcasm to the side, guys. It's good that Mason Mount is back. We need numbers. We are going towards the business end of the season, and I know we could banter and say Mason Mount's always injured. And listen, I can spend a whole hour talking negatively about Mason Mount. But do you know what? 8-9 games left, or how many games are left, and we're getting injuries left, right, and centre. And if he could do a job in central midfield or anywhere on the pitch, if he's an option for Michael Carrick in order to change the game or anything like that, then I will welcome it. I don't think it's a time right now to be like, he's always going to get injured, all these things. You know what? 8 games left. I think most of the fan base have an opinion on Mason Mount that they'd prefer he's not here. I think most of us would prefer if he's sold. He's always injured, like I said, all of these things. But right now, for what we need for the 8 games or so that we have left to secure top 4, I just want as many players available as possible for the manager, guys. That's where my brain is at. Michael Carrick goes on to say that he's an important player for us, and it's good to have him involved with the team. He's not 100% fit. He's not 100% back. He's just training with the lads. He's only trained a very small amount of time, but essentially he's back with the lads, and maybe in a week or two he will be absolutely match fit and he'll be ready to make an impact. And one thing, if Mason Mount can, I don't know, score 2 goals off the bench between now and the end of the season, then that goes some way of paying us back the money that he's been earning while being injured. So that's Mason Mount, guys. I know the heavens, there's nothing to celebrate for a lot of you guys, but I think it's good to have players back in general for the business end of the season. Big up the chat, smash a like, guys, turn on your notifications, subscribe if you are new. Let's move on to what he said about JJ Gabriel. This is not in order of the press conference because he was asked about Paul Scholes and other things first, but it doesn't matter. We don't have to do this in order, guys. He was also asked about JJ Gabriel and whether he's ready to play. And one thing I like about Carrick is he's also no nonsense. He just shut it down straight away. He said, no, he's too young. It's interesting that he says he's too young because age has never been an issue. But when I say he's too, what I take from him saying he's too young is that he's too immature. He's not mature enough. And also, he could technically be too young because at the beginning of the season, he was 14. So there actually might be laws in place stopping 14-year-olds, because he was 14 at the start of the season, from playing with seniors. So he might actually literally be too young, but legally to play as well. Don't hold me to that, but it could also be a legal thing as well. As, listen, he's not a man. Same thing with Cheeto. When Cheeto was 18, 17, he looked big, but when you started playing with the men, yeah, you can tell he was not ready. And there's no need to push JJ. There's no need to push JJ. I don't even really understand why this question was asked. There could have been a million other questions asked. We know he's too young. He's only 15. We know he's one for the future. Yeah, I don't expect him to play any games. And potentially next season, he might not even play any games next season either. He might not. And that is absolutely fine by me, because it's not about rushing the kid. We don't need to rush him. We don't need to rush the kid at all. So Carrick today spoke about JJ. He said he's not ready. He's too young, but also said that he's a big talent. Also said he's been really good this season for the under 18. So waxed lyrical, gave him some props, was very positive about the young lad. which is good, a manager needs to do this. Carrick will also always do this. But once again, for me, we don't need to be bringing up JJ Gabriel, a 15-year-old, in this press conference. I don't really think so. You know, he plays for the under-18s. He's trained with us a few times this season. Trained with the senior team a few times this season. Yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. There you go. TK in the building, just giving us the facts. Big up T Kizzles. TK says, despite training with the first team, the 15-year-old forward cannot play because he was only 14 when the 2025-26 season began and did not meet the age requirements. So TK gave us the facts on that one. He literally cannot play. Factually cannot play. Big up Alfred in the building, children. Mason Mountain. Alfred, let me focus for 1 second, bro. Mason Mountain of hospital bills. Man, let me have a normal show. NHS FC, here we go. Carrick for on Southgate. For the job vibes. Football gods save the king. Yeah. Big up Alfred. Big up TK. So, yeah, let's move on from JJ. Carrick was also asked about Maguire for England squad. And once again, if I'm being honest, guys, I don't care whether this man gets picked for England or not. All I'm bothered about is the fact that he's hit a decent... He's hit form. He has hit form for Man United. Over the last 4 games, Carrick has trusted him. Carrick has played him, and he's done well. I've always said Maguire, very good box defender. In the penalty box, he's okay. Dominates the air. Outside the penalty box, the reason why he's called a fridge is because he's immobile, and that is still the same. He's not very quick. He's not very mobile. We struggle to play expansive football with him at the back. These things are still there. But recently, we got to give him credit. Recently, over the last few games, I don't think he was actually fit the last game against Newcastle, was he? He might have been. I can't remember. Was he even playing against Newcastle? Either way, he has been playing well for Manchester United of late. So it's only normal that the English media will ask Carrick about Maguire playing for England. And Carrick, as usual, he's not really in this press conference. He didn't really bite any of the media's questions. He was very straight with his answers. He didn't get sucked into anything. He didn't say, Amorim would have bitten. Amorim would have gone emotional. He would have been angry. He would have said something like, I hate the players or something. I don't know. But Carrick is so almost boring. He's almost boring, Carrick. And I've said it about Lemens. I said, give me Lemens, a boring-ass goalkeeper who speaks straight, autistic as hell, that saves the shots, don't say much. Give me that over Martinez. So I'm not complaining. Carrick, very straight. He's not going to give you anything exciting. He's not going to say anything exciting. But I said we need that. We went from the roller coaster, the emotional roller coaster of Amorim, who said what he felt all the time, wore his heart on his sleeve all the time, for ill or for crook or good or bad, whatever the term is. And now we've gone to Carrick, who is measured, constantly measured with his responses. It's like chalk and cheese, as they say. So, well done, Maguire. Michael Carrick spoke positively about Maguire, as he does with all his players, which is, once again, a contrast. Amorim will be saying Kobe Mainoo might not be good, and Kobe Mainoo has to compete with this player, and Amorim will be putting players against each other. Not Carrick. Not Carrick. Not him. He understands. So big up Maguire. He's done well, and that's all I have to say about Maguire at this point. Yeah, big up TK. I know TK's been put through the ringer in the chat in terms of what is this, TK? The 5th interview. This time you got to do star jumps. What did they ask you to do as part of the 5th interview, TK? 10 star jumps and the obstacle course. Like, what the hell? Like, the 10th. Listen, when you know the job is serious, yeah, is when you have rounds. When you have a rounds for interview, you know you're not getting paid 10. It's not no 10 grand a year job. This is a serious. So TK, big up yourself, man. Good luck, my guy. Always. All right. So Carrick was also asked about things in general. How are things after the Newcastle loss? And one thing I will say, guys, is this is the first loss under Michael Carrick, as we know. Let's watch the game on Sunday and let's see what happens. It is vital for us to understand how we bounce back. This is our first loss. We don't know what Michael Carrick is like after a defeat. We don't know what the response would be. We know what the response would be under Amorim, but this is a test. Where have we gone? Are we in a better position, or are these players is it just a new manager bounce, basically? Or is it something different? Has Carrick done something different? What are we going to be like after a defeat? I'm so intrigued, people. So intrigued to see what this team does against Aston Villa on Sunday. This game is huge. Absolutely huge. If we beat Aston Villa on Sunday, I think, okay, I'm not going to say top 4 is secured, but come on, guys. Is that 1 foot? Is that 1 foot in, or is that too soon to be talking like that? I just don't know. I'll be honest with the chat. I don't know what this team's reaction is going to be under Michael Carrick. This is new territory. We haven't seen this yet. So this will be new data. New data for all of us to understand. And if we don't win against Aston Villa and we get beaten again, 2 losses in a row, what will that mean? How will we analyze this, guys? How will we interpret it? You know how we do in this chat and on this channel. So Aston Villa game, guys, it's massive. It's massive. But Carrick spoke about this week, and he's confirmed. He spoke to us, and he said that it's been a good week. Spoke about how difficult the result was, how disappointing it was, and he said that many times. He still hasn't come out and said or explained to us what he thinks, or what the reason is why we lost, or what he thinks the reason why we lost is. I'm still waiting for him to say we lost against Newcastle because I want to see how Carrick analyzes and assess the performance and assess the game. But he's confirmed that he's looked at it, digested it, and he's also confirmed that he's learnt from it. That is so good to hear, guys. Self-reflection. Because under our previous coach, it was never his fault. It was always everyone else's fault. It's so good to hear the manager, the coach say that, listen, we lost. We rewatched the match. We looked at it again and again and again, and we learnt from it. So, Carrick, you're saying all these nice things. Let's see, guys. This is a test. Let's see on Sunday when the team news is read out. Let's see what we do. Let's see how Michael Carrick has really learned from the Newcastle loss. Big up, people. Paul Scholes' comments, guys. As you guys know, Paul Scholes tweeted something a week ago, or just before just after the loss against Newcastle, and he essentially said Michael Carrick isn't doing a great job in his tweet, but maybe not in the most diplomatic words as I've just put it. And that's what he basically said, right? And I knew the media were going to ask Michael Carrick about this. We spoke about Paul Scholes. Some of you said Paul Scholes should keep his mouth shut. I said, I understand why people say Paul Scholes should be quiet, but at the same time, if he's a pundit and, he's paid for his opinions, then what else is he going to do apart from give his opinions? So it's always an interesting one. This conversation is there's no right or wrong. I don't think it's black and white either. But he was asked about Paul Scholes, Michael Carrick, and I like this response, people. I like this response because he just shrugged it off. Once again, I could only compare him with Amorim because of the contrast, guys. I'm not here to bash Amrim even more, but I'm saying Amrim spent a whole press conference speaking about Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, and all of those players, right? Ex-players and how they affected this and they affected that and all of these things. Amrim took shots. Carrick, on the other hand, says it was nothing really. I have nothing to say about it. That is just where we are in terms of social media and captions and quotes that can be taken in different ways. I'm quite calm about it. That's it. Sometimes, if you give fuel to the fire and you make something important, it will become important. I'm just saying sometimes that's a tactic. Sometimes if you say this thing is a problem, it becomes the problem. Sometimes if you're like, listen, these motherfuckers are over there chatting shit, they're just chatting shit. I don't care if they chat shit. They don't matter. Let them chat shit. I ain't giving them the power. I'm not even looking. I'm looking this way. You get my point. Sometimes you don't need to put gasoline on the fire. To put some oil in it. Put some water on it. Put some water. So I like that. Carrick is nonchalant as fuck. And he talks and he acts the way that he played. The way that he played, just head over, always, pivoting, always looking behind his shoulders in that DM position, just doing the PLO thing, doing the Busquets thing, just managing the midfield, keeping the ball ticking, never panicking. Now, both him and Scholes here have a very nonchalant, like flat way of talking, and they both played football a very similar way in terms of they never panicked in that midfield area. They never panicked under pressure. Just give the ball, give and go, and they both talk. That's why I'm always like, guys, people's character, yeah, a lot of the time their personalities and their characters are not always reflected directly with the way they play, and sometimes even the position that they play. Sometimes, and you can see it. The PLOs, the Busquets, the Xavis, the Carricks, the Scholeses, the Zidanes who play central. All those guys are just always chilled. Just chilled. So yeah, I like that response, guys. Even though I've just gone off on a tangent, I like that response from Carrick. Big up everyone in the chat. Question for the group: would you want Casemiro back for one more year if he does a U-turn? That's a good question, TK. Me, T-Cazles, yes and no. I've always said that I'm not keeping everybody. Like, if we're gonna let Casemiro go, maybe keep Bruno. If we're gonna let Bruno go, then maybe keep Cass. So I'm not a believer of let's keep everybody who's an old man who's getting paid 300 grand a week. Let's just keep him for no. If we were letting Bruno go, I'll say keep Cass because of maturity, know-how, just basic know-how. You have Casemiro with all that knowledge, all those games that he's played, knowing how to win, and you're going to bring in the Anderson, all these guys. Why not keep him for one more year? Baleba, Anderson, learn from Casemiro. You guys are stronger than him. You guys are quicker than him. You guys can bum up the pitch more than he can. But guess what? In terms of where to be, where to position yourself, knowing when to track back, and all these little things that he's developed over the last 20 years, you guys ain't got that. Because that comes with time. But if someone's there who has the time and has that and can teach you quickly, cool, let's keep him. So I'm for keeping Cass for another year if he can lower his wages and if, other players are leaving. Because I don't want, like, if Ugarte's leaving, for instance, then we might keep Cass for another year. But there's no guarantee that Ugarte is we want Ugarte to leave, and we'll probably try to sell him, but who's buying Ugarte from us? Who? Because I'm pretty sure he's only been here 2 years and he's got like 3 years left. I don't know. Carrick laughing through his answer about Scholes shows that it's no big deal to him. That's why that's good, TK. Sometimes act like the thing isn't important. Brush it off, bro. Sometimes that's a good tactic to use, TK. I hear that. He can go. I don't think he can go anywhere where he'd fit. Well, Cass. I think Cass will fit in anywhere in Europe that doesn't play this crazy football that we play. Any team that plays a compact system where he's not doing this, Casemiro, I think he'll be fine. I think you just need to manage Casemiro and play him in the right system, I think. But Alfred said something that I've said many times. We are going to miss Casemiro's aerial threat, people. Factually, let's not beat around the bush. Yeah. We are going to miss this. This guy, I never knew before we got him how dominant this guy is in the air. Defending as well as attacking. Is Baleba like that? Is Anderson like that? I don't know. Is Adam Walton like that? I don't know. I really don't know, guys. Ruby would have bitten hard and have seconds. Yeah, Ruby would have struggled to keep his composure. Big up Acho in the building, children. Hoyland money in loss in the books, but capitalize wisely is important. Hopefully, Mateus from West Ham. Yeah, maybe. Also, guys, don't forget we're linked with this Nottingham Forest defender. And I've been asking a chat about him and what you guys feel about this Nottingham Forest defender that we've been linked to. I don't know much, guys, so you guys are going to have to help me out and let me know about this guy. Shit's about to be lit, y'all. Acho enters the dragon. Yo, Acho's that Afro guy in Enter the Dragon. Who's the Afro guy in Enter the Dragon? What's his name? No, Bruce Lee, the Bruce Lee movie, Enter Dragon, the guy with Afro. With his lemon pepper steppers. Was he, bro? What's his name? Anyway, Jaden. All right, cool. We got to talk about great Carrick on Jaden. So Jaden Sancho was brought up in the interview. You guys know where I stand on Jaden. I think where I stand with Jaden right now is I'm not gonna beat him up like everyone else beats him up. Yeah, like his private life, he's doing whatever in his private life. I don't know, and it's a shame. I think that's what I'll say. It's a shame because when Jaden came, Jaden was a star boy, the best young wide player in Europe, and his issues, as well as his discipline, as well as Man United, how they treated him, and all of these other things. I feel like, when something's a massive cocktail of just so many things, that it's not just one thing. And also the fact that I don't think he was as bad as people are making him out to be. Like, he's had a better time at Manchester United and he's had better games at United than Mason Mount has. The 2 years or 2.5 years where he played football before we loaned him to Dortmund, then loaned him to Chelsea, where we balled out both years, by the way. He's had a bigger impact on our success, especially Ralph Ragnick times and Carrick times and Ollie times where he was setting up CR7 and he was doing well. He's had a bigger impact in our success than Mason Mount has. But I'm supposed to hate Sancho and love Mason Mount. So I'm just saying this, guys. I have obviously a soft spot for Jadon Sancho. It is clear that I am a little biased towards him because of the environment and because of the fact that I know him. I know this. I know the brother. I know this. I know Jadon. So when I see people write stuff about him, the guy that I know, I'm like, this is lies. So I'm a bit biased for Jadon. I feel that's fine. And I know most of the chat are going to disagree with me with this one. But Jadon's gone now. I feel like we need to move on from Jadon. He had his time here. It didn't work out as well as he wanted and as well as we wanted. It's done. Let him, like, has he got 1 year left? No, I think I think this is his last year. So he'll be free. He'll go on a free. And I don't want to talk about Jadon anymore. After this, every time I talk about Jadon, I'm like, I gotta talk about Jadon. But hopefully after this, we won't need to be speaking about Jadon. But Carrick spoke about Jayden, said, are you surprised in how his career has gone, essentially? And he just said, listen, you can never be surprised with anything in football. We've seen Dele Alli, we've seen so many players with so much promise just not land for whatever reason. So it's football sometimes. And he said it's one of those things. Sometimes when you come to a club, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. That's natural. And Jayden seems like the kind of guy that would have benefited staying at Dortmund, maybe. He said Jayden has talent. It's why he came to the club to start with. He has had some really good moments. And I like that because people like to talk about Jayden like he didn't play for this club, like he didn't sit people down on his bum and score goals for us and did amazing things for us. He did. He had really good games for us. And people like to rub him out like he didn't do anything. While at the same time giving Mason Mount a pass. So I like the fact that he's like, listen, this guy had really good moments for us. But for whatever reason, I don't know why, I've not been here for that period of time. He found himself at Villa. And also because of that sort of Mason Greenwood, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jadon Sancho, I feel like that period of time where a lot of young players were let down by the club. I think Højlund's been let down by the club. And this might be unpopular. And listen, I'm not saying I like Garnacho. I'm just saying I even believe Garnacho. And two things could be right. He could be a dick, Garnacho, and all these things you guys say he is, but he could also be a little bit let down. He should never have been thrusted in at the age of 18 to be a first-team player at Manchester United. Never have been. Højlund should never have been a first-choice striker for Manchester. These two kids should be coming off the bench. So we also let them down. So and we have to call this shit out and be real. It doesn't hurt my feelings to admit it. It shouldn't hurt your feelings. Multiple things can be right at the same time. A player could be crap, but we also let him down. That could be true. He goes on to say he said a good spell at Dortmund as well and reached a Champions League final, which he did. He has a talent. He's played a lot this season. Credit for him. And what happens next, we'll have to wait and see. Cool. Boom. Boom, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Let's move on. Carrick, what's next? Emre. So we had Carrick shutting down questions on Scholes. Carrick talking about Newcastle. Carrick speaking on Jadon Sancho and Jadon's at Villa. Carrick speaking on the game in general. Carrick speaking on JJ Gabriel. Carrick speaking on Maguire. Let's have a look at Emre. Guys. I'm not gonna lie, people. I rate Emre. I like Emre. Let me know what you guys think about Emre as a coach. I think he's one of the best or one of the better coaches in the league. I think so. Would you guys take Emre at United? I like to think about the fact that Arteta won his only trophy at Arsenal, the FA Cup, with Emre's team. I think if Emre didn't get fired, Emre would have gone on to win the FA Cup. In my mind, Emre is the only coach to win a trophy at Arsenal over the last 8-9 years. Not Arteta. It wasn't his team. No, I'm joking. I can't do that. I can't make that statement. But Emre spoken on Michael Carrick. And Emre said, each coach has their personality and their career. Carrick is really performing fantastically. The first experience we had against each other was playing in the Champions League. Man United against Villarreal 5 years ago. Wow. Hold on a second. Wait. Man United against... Wasn't that didn't we face Villarreal in the final? Or semi-final or something? We lost. But was Michael Carrick in charge? I thought Ollie was in charge when we lost to Villarreal in the final. Or am I losing my mind, people? Anyway, Emery says he has experience, he knows everything there, and they are progressing in the table, getting more points and having more confidence. So Emery just doing what all managers do, really, unless you've got beef with the man. Just talking positively about his colleague, saying how well he's doing, how successful he is at the moment with Manchester United. Nothing really to see here. Nothing really out of the blue, in my opinion, with Emery's quotes. He's not firing arrows or nothing at Carrick. It's just normal gentlemen's talk about each other. So, I don't know, guys. I'm worried about Aston Villa. Guys. I don't know. I have the sample size for Amarim's team. And based on Amarim's teams, we should lose. But I don't know. This is a different team, right? This is Carrick's team. So, as I said at the start of the show, we've not been in this situation with Carrick before, people. So, what are we expecting? And what is this expectation based on if we haven't even been in this position before with Carrick? What are people thinking? What kind of game are you guys expecting it to be? Let me see the chat quickly. Touch base with the peoples. Atro says, I'm taking Cass for 1 more year, but I will limit his minutes seriously, like 1 game a week. So what we're saying, has 1 game a week helped Casemiro as well? Surely that's a variable or a factor we have to consider in terms of the prolonging Casemiro. The fact that we're playing 1 game a week, because the time when we played 2 games a week, when we played Sunday and then we played Newcastle on Wednesday, we lost. And that game, both Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo were absolutely bullied. That Newcastle midfield, yeah, absolutely pushed us over. We played half the game against... This is why I was so angry. We played half the fucking game, and it's making me think about it again and reliving this shit, against fucking 10 men, and they bullied our midfield still. And that's never happened before. We played Newcastle, we played Arsenal, Man City. Our midfield never got bullied. And I thought to myself, we played 2 games in 3 days. We played Sunday and we played Wednesday. And it's the first time we've done that all season, I think. And started the same midfield that played 90 minutes on Sunday and 90 minutes on Wednesday. And I thought, we were tired. Were we just tired, people? Because Amorim might have started, and Amorim would have started Ugarte on a Wednesday and switched it up, but we didn't. So were we just simply tired against Newcastle, people? I don't know, guys. Just hypothesizing, just asking questions, man. Throwing things out there for the chat. I would only keep Cass depending on how we strike out in the summer, says TK. Makes sense. Pragmatic, logical. I'm hearing Ugarte might go. News has been reporting he is the last to arrive and training and the first to leave. Wow. Hoping Sesko steps up on the aerial part and replaces Cass in the aspect. Yeah, if he plays, the fact that you're that Casemiro player or the Casemiro profile plays every game. We don't know Sesko's going to play every game. I feel like Sesko if Sesko increases his intensity, he will play a lot more as well, I think. But good point. Atro says we must shift Ugarte. I know, Atro. I'm just thinking, what are the possibilities? And once we do shift him, we're not going to get anything back from... Like, we spent, was it £55 million, people? How much of that are we going to get back? And why do we start caring about money? I've always asked this question to myself. At what point did the fans start talking finance? Because 10, 15 years ago, we didn't care how much a player... Let's go and get the fucking player. I don't care how much a player costs. And now the owners of football clubs make their finances our problem. We talk about money and how much we can afford and stuff like we own the club. I've always said the best thing, the smartest thing the capitalists, the billionaires did, the filthy rich people did, was make their money problems our money problems. Bro, I've got my own money problems. I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire. Why am I sitting there thinking about Man United's money problems? I don't know. Once again, just thinking out loud. TK's Jim Kelly. Where'd it go? Respectfully, wait, have I seen this before? Yeah, respectfully, Mount hasn't been fit for a whole season. Obviously, Sancho has been better. Mount's biggest highlight is the chatting to Linda in the medical room. Afro. But it should be Afro. I know it's called Atro, but it should be Afro. I hear you, bro. Like, unpopular opinions, bro. But one thing about me, I don't like narratives. Like, I don't like when somebody creates a narrative that's just false, but you can't disprove the narrative and the narrative sticks. I hate narratives that stick like glue, and when they're wrong and you can't change them. Like certain player is lazy. Now, where the fuck did that come from? That this player is lazy, or this player can't run, or whatever the narrative. I don't like narratives, bro. Narratives are lazy and they're annoying. Enter the Dragon is one of my favorite movies of all time. Visited Bruce and Brandon in Seattle as they were buried there. 2-hour drive, TK. Big up. TK's had a good life, you know. TK's done a lot of fun shit. All right. That sounded wild. Man said he visited their graves and shit, and I said TK's had some fun. That came out mad, you know. That came out wild. It's not fun to visit someone's grave. But no, I stand by it. Because yes, it's a somber moment because the man is dead, but it's also fun. Nah, it can be fun to visit graves. It can be. Even though fun is not the right word to use, I think. Fun is a wild word to use, but you know what I mean, man. Fucking hell. I'm sitting there trying to digging my grave like shit. I'm digging my grave. How am I saying that? I'm just jumping there with Bruce. Sorry. I have to say, I was actually quite happy with Carrick's comments on Sancho, says Atro. Not malice, and actually giving him the right props for what he did for us. Thank you. Because I have to live in a world where the Sancho hatred, is astronomical. It's on next levels. We talk about his tattoos on his neck. We talk about his Twitter and online people talk about his girlfriends, all these things, and dig up this and dig this up. And I'm like, and at one point I was thinking, hold on a second, just because he stood up to Ten Hag and said Ten Hag was lying, and all of a sudden the press and the media turned him to scapegoat. I was like, am I alive in this world when I'm seeing this happen to this young man? And everyone's joining in, and everyone's got their pitchforks out. And I'm just like, do you know what? I'm not going to get my pitchfork out. I'm just going to sit back and watch these idiots abuse this kid. And that's all. But, I mean, Sancho's not perfect, bro. Sancho shouldn't have come out with the whole freedom. But then again, if somebody you plays for your club is saying something like freedom, what the hell has gone on? Because we're acting like this man wasn't told to sit and eat by himself. We're acting like this man didn't come into work every day and was told to go and sit over there by yourself and eat. What the fuck are you doing to this kid? And we're acting like every preseason. I remember the preseason where Sancho balled out. Absolutely balled out in a false 9. He came back to Man United after the Dortmund stint. Balled out for Ten Hag. Was so good in a false 9, and when the season started, nowhere to be seen. Imagine if you're Jaden. It's like, what the fuck do I need to do to get a start to play? So, It is what it is. It is what it is. I like that as well. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Emre, guys. All right. This, I don't always like rumors, guys, and I like to verify my sources as much as I can. And if it is a rumor, I'd like to say flat out, it is a rumor. This is a rumor. I haven't verified any sources or anything. I've just seen this. But one or two people have spoken about it. So he has a back problem, De Ligt. De Ligt has a back problem, and many people are saying he will not play again this season. Guys, I am worried. As TK has already said, I think in the last show, and I don't forget, I said this at the beginning of the season. I said it when we were under Amram. I said, based on Amram's 5 at the back system, we're going to have to, even though we've got so many defenders, we're going to have to revisit our defense again in the summer. Now, and we've spoken about this before, guys, we have a lot of defenders, but why are they always injured? We spoke about our medical department the other day, and we'll continue to speak about it. From Twansabi's comments earlier on the season to now, it's not going away, the medical department shit. And this De Ligt thing is very weird. It's like, somebody come out, please, and just say what the F it is, and just get us out of our misery. Just tell us what is the problem. Because somebody knows, a doctor knows what the hell's wrong with him. There is a doctor that knows exactly what is wrong with this guy. But for some reason, we are not told what's wrong with him. We're just told he'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. All right. 3 months. Is it soon yet? Is it soon now? Sir, is it soon yet? I don't know. When is soon? Anyway, his back injury is so bad that he might not play again this season. And that's where all the talk about going back in for a centre-back is coming from. Lissandro, dead. De Ligt, dead. We've got 2 kids, Heaven and Euro, 19. We're not starting the 19-year-olds together. We're not. We are not. We might start a 30-year-old with a 19-year-old, but we're not starting 2 kids together. We're just not doing that. So De Ligt, dead. Martinez, dead. Maguire, 33, can't move, immobile. Where is our centre-back for next season, guys? Who is our centre-back for next season, chat? Because we went from a position where we played 5 at the back, we are loaded, to now, hold on a second. What the hell? To the point where Maguire is back in the team, and we're now trying to say Maguire should get another contract. Like what? So, guys, we got to think about defense now. And what does that mean, people? Does it mean one less midfielder in the summer? Does it mean no left winger in the summer? If we're going to spend 35 million on that Nottingham Forest defender? People. Just putting this shit out there, people. Just putting it out there. I think Villa is tired. They just played yesterday. 1-1 draw, says TK. TK's putting his prediction out there. I'm going with a draw as well. I just don't know, TK, what this team's going to do in this situation. I've seen the team's performance decrease and get worse as Carrick, as you know, the game goes on, game after game under Carrick, we've got worse. And I don't know what we're like after a loss yet under Carrick. And because it's so unknown, I'm just like, do you know what? Draw. I'll go with what TK's saying. I'll go with the draw. And another scrappy game. Atro says the Villa game will be a bit of a scrap. it's definitely helped Casemiro a lot more to play one game a week. I think so. Ugarte has interest from Italian clubs. Dash him where? We just have to cut our losses. Yeah. No, I hear you. You're right. No sentiment, man. That's what gets us here in the first place. All the sentiment stuff. Just cut our losses and move on. Right. This is an interesting quote. Brentford sources claim Brian Mbeumo could find it a challenge to play 2 or 3 games per week. Very, very interesting. Why has this come out? And this also goes with this. Samuel Luckhurst has now come out and also, said that Brian Mbeumo has endured a steep drop-off in form, with his worst performance coming in the 2-1 defeat at Newcastle. Sources from Brentford say he may find it challenging to play 2 or 3 games per week. Having had limited pre-season minutes... What? I'm not... Hey, wait. Microphone. That's pissed me off. I'm going to stop it right there. You having limited pre-season minutes is fucking irrelevant when the season is almost done and you've played 100 million games, bro. What the hell, is missing 1 or 2 games in pre-season gonna ever matter? Now, when you played 1 million games and you got 1 million minutes under your belt, it mattered at the beginning, but now that you've got all these games, it doesn't. Why is that introduced? Having had limited pre-season minutes, bro. That one line has just almost devalued the whole thing. But I'll read on. And not training on grass with Brentford to avoid injury ahead of his 71 move. So I feel like it's trying to make excuses, right? Saying he's had limited preseason minutes, and before his move to Manchester United, he wasn't training on grass. Cool. That would explain his slow start. But this man has gone to the African Nations Cup and played one match every 3 games. Sorry, 1 match every 3 days. Yeah. So he's gone to AFCON and played like 100 games in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean, guys. And straight after that, he's come back and went straight into the team on a Sunday. Him and Ahmad. So using all that stuff is not good. It's not cool. I don't like it. But it's interesting that they're saying he can't play 2 or 3 games a week. Is it because he plays with a level of intensity that he needs a rest? And if that's the case, cool. We have Ahmad. And I prefer Ahmad. I prefer Mbeumo up front to Ahmad up front. So if I had to choose one of the two to be a forward, I would choose Mbeumo. Because Mbeumo's efficiency, in my opinion, efficiency in front of goal seems to be slightly better than Ahmad's. Not because he's a better player, but on the wing, you have to... Carrick, I beg of you, against Villa, I beg you start Amad Diallo. I think if Carrick doesn't start Ahmad, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm letting you guys know. I let my chat know my biases. I told you guys, I like Ahmad. I can't do anything about that, guys. And I want to see him on the team sheet. And I want to see him start. And that's just my preference, guys. Just my preference. But very interesting stuff about Mbeumo. I wasn't going to talk about this at all. But I don't know why the news are starting to talk about this. Why is Samuel Luckhurst and these journalists now talking about Brian Mbeumo's bad form and saying it's not his fault? It's so strange, guys, because we have spoken about Brian Mbeumo's form for the past 2 months. We said on this channel, I said the 4 games before he went on AFCON, he was rubbish, but he still scored goals. He came back, he went to AFCON and he was rubbish. Let's be honest, at AFCON, he wasn't good for Cameroon. He wasn't that good. He came back from AFCON, and for United, he wasn't. He's scoring goals by Mbeumo, just like a Mo Salah, without actually having good performances. His touches are bad. When he drops deep into that sort of 10 role to pick the ball up, the ball bounces off his feet. But he's scoring goals. And then Ahmad is having slightly better overall performances, but Ahmad just not scoring goals or getting assists. So we have been talking about Mbeumo's performances for a while. And we said this. We analysed Cunha and we analysed Mbeumo. And we're smart on this channel. We know how Mbeumo plays. Mbeumo plays scatty. He's scrappy. We said that Cunha is going to be more aesthetically pleasing on the eye to watch. And we said Cunha is a better overall footballer. We said this at the start of the season. We analysed them. You guys heard me. I said Cunha is a better footballer and Mbeumo is going to get more GA. And Mbeumo is going to get more GA, but it's not always going to be pretty. We spoke about how Mbeumo plays football. He snapshots. He loves his little shift snapshot. Just like Mo Salah, the ball's going to bounce off his feet and it's not going to look pretty sometimes. But when you need Mbeumo, he's going to turn up with a goal. He will. And that's just Mbeumo. That is him. Not aesthetically pleasing, but effective. An effective footballer. He shouldn't be starting every game. Because at Brentford, he didn't start every game. So for me, just understand the footballers that we have and understand their profiles, I feel like. But like I said, it's very interesting that this is now starting to be spread. Slow news day. Not a lot of things to talk about as well. All these things. Anyway, guys. I think that is all, guys. Let's look at the team. Oh, let's not look at the team. Let's quickly... Let me try to think of the team, guys. Let me think about the team. Yeah, that's a good point. The Premier League clubs are all humbled in... I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say this about Champions League people. And once again, it might be unpopular for you guys to hear. I like the fact that the Premier League clubs were a bit humbled in the Champions League this week. I don't know why. I don't like the direction the Premier League is heading. It's heading back to the whole kick and run, kick your shins, punch in your face. You can do anything you want. You can foul. It's going back to sort of the 90s football, and it's moving away from tech. So if the European teams can slap around the English teams a little bit and remind them politely, just listen, you gotta have tech, you motherfuckers. You can't just be corner boys and kick it around and be quicker than me and stronger than me. And that's all you just be quick and strong than me and run past me. You got to also have tech. So if it forces us back down the tech route, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Because the football in the Premier League right now, people, it's not always the most enjoyable to watch. Acho said, though, I would say the hate is overall unwarranted, but some of Sancho's performances have been underwhelming. Yeah. You got to call it out. But not everyone hates players for having bad performances. Like, Bruno was shit all last year playing in a double pivot. Like, so many players here that we had were rubbish last year, but they never got hate. So, here's what it is. We were not looking at Jarrad Branthwaite last summer. As in the summer just gone. No. Maybe last summer. And TK, it might not even been last summer, TK. It might have been the summer even before that when we were looking at Branthwaite. It might have been, yeah, it was the summer before Amorim got here. We're looking at Branthwaite, the Ten Hag summer. But then because Branthwaite plays predominantly on the left-hand side, I think we're also looking at Branthwaite to play left centre-back in Amorim's first year as well, I think. Acho says, that's not really anything. The Mbeumo news sounds like international break. Okay, yeah. I mean, I was saying that. I'm like, what? You can't play 2 or 3 games a week. Like what? It sounded like one of those slow news day kind of stuff. But the fact that like BBC and Simon Luthurst and all these guys were trying to push this narrative, I was thinking, why are they pushing this narrative? Why are they pushing it? Sources from Brentford. Full stop there. Your girlfriend left you and you're talking shit about her. Yeah, now TK has a point. Sources from Brentford. Yeah, you're right, TK. You got a point. Maybe that says it all, bro. Maybe that says it all. Stop right there. I heard Mbeumo has been speaking about his time at Brentford and the scouting process. Lindelof, the own goal machine. Bro, TK, you could take the mick out of Lindelof all you like, bro. Lindelof is playing for Aston Villa and Aston Villa have been in the top 4 for most of the season, bro. And that's a guy that we wanted to get rid of for so many years. I always got to remind people, listen, the systems are important, bro. A system will hide your deficiency and promote your efficiency. And Lindelof looks okay. The Iceman has melted. He looked okay this season. Branthwaite. Oh yeah, I remember. I'm assuming you guys don't rate Branthwaite then. Would you guys take Branthwaite? Would you take Branthwaite though, TK? That's the question. Especially now, given our defensive issues. Would you guys take Branthwaite? I don't know, guys. I've watched Branthwaite, but it's because he's big and tall. I don't know. Because when Branthwaite gets pulled wide, he don't look comfortable. Good on Lindelof for finding gainful employment. Lindelof is too interested in flicking his hair. Lindelof and like, what's his name? The Arsenal guy. The Arsenal captain. What's his name? Who's Arsenal's the captain, number 10? Odegaard. The hair flickers. These guys are always trying to these guys are always flicking their hairs, bruv. Hell no. Branthwaite can keep chopping it up with Moyes. No. No. You guys say no to Branthwaite. Absolutely not. All right, guys. What is a team? I don't think the team will change. I want this team to start against Aston Villa. Dalot. Masraoui injured, so I guess I'll put Dalot. Shaw should be back after that scare. Maguire, hopefully he's back. I'll play. I think the back 4 chooses itself. Lemens chooses himself. The midfield 2 choose themselves. We understand Carrick now. This is where I will deviate. Bring in Ahmad. Bring in the winger. Let him hog the touchline. Put the crosses into for Sesko. But at the same time, guys, even though I don't fully like it, I understand the floating front 3. I understand Mbeumo, Cunha, and Ahmad. And our best, because I'll tell you what it is. Because our best games so far have come, even though I don't like Mbeumo as a striker, I don't, guys. I really don't. But this is where you've got like to make it mix and match. You got to think about strengths and weaknesses, people. I don't like Mbeumo up front. I prefer Sesko up front. But I like how we play when Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Cunha are on the pitch. Does it make sense? It's hard because I prefer Sesko up front to Mbeumo up front, but I prefer the way that we play football when we have Ahmad, Mbeumo, and Cunha all on the pitch. The only thing about having Mbeumo up front is that he's not a striker. And his hold-up play, Brandon Mbeumo's hold-up play is absolutely atrocious. It's not good enough. But on the last shoulder, which is where Brandon Mbeumo is good, he is absolutely frightening. He's strong. He's stronger than Ahmad. Ahmad will get pushed off the ball sometimes. We've seen Ahmad get muscled off the ball. Brandon Mbeumo, he's not skillful, but he's not going to get muscled off the ball like Ahmad. So it's like, it's pros and cons. I might, because I know Aston Villa might take the game to us, I might start in Brandon Bumo, Ahmad and Cunha and do that front three and do the counter-attack thing that we did against, or do the sort of mid-block that we did against, or mid to low block against Arsenal and City. I might do that. I don't know what you guys are thinking in terms of the tactics, in terms of your approach to this game. Lindelof will have his shorts full with Cunha. Big up everyone. Yeah, man, everyone's participating today, man, having a chat. It's good, man. It's good to see everyone in a chat, man. I don't know, guys. I'm still saying draw. I'm being pessimistic. I'm keeping everything, chilled. I'm not gonna do my whole Carrick's here, we're gonna win. I'm done with that now. These guys have shown me over the last few games that I need to relax my expectations a little bit. And therefore, I am doing that. I'm going to go for a draw. I think I want this team to start, but from what I've seen from Carrick, he probably will start Mbeumo for Ahmad. And while I'm not a Player FC guy all the time, if Ahmad doesn't start getting some good minutes, and I know it's too soon for Ahmad. Sorry, way too soon for Ahmad to be coming out being disgruntled. He's only been on the bench for 2 games. And that TK and I think Atro said it the other day when I think you guys posted something in the Discord. And I was like, even though I was like, I want Ahmad to play, and I think I stated that I wanted Ahmad to play. At the same time, I was like, bro, it's been 2 games. You've been on the bench the last 2 games. Relax, bro. Relax. Just relax. So we'll see. We will see. If I'm honest, Atro, I would play Xerxes and then sub on. Yeah, I would definitely play that. I feel like I understand now why teams play with false nines, and I keep trying to remind people that the best teams, the PSGs, the Real Madrids, even the Arsenal at the moment, they play with false nines because that number 9 helps the team. It's difficult. I feel like playing with Sesko, who doesn't join in as much with the build-up play as Xerxes or Mbeumo. Even Mbeumo, who's not a link play man, even Mbeumo drops deeper than Sesko. And I feel like Mbeumo's mobility and his ability to also pick up different positions is also good, where Sesko's just a striker. And there's pros and cons because it limits the way that we can play fluidly, while at the same time gives us an option in the air when we attack. So it's like, was it 6-7? 6-7. I don't know. So I don't know. Either way, this is where I am. We actually have players, that we can mix and match and have different approaches to games. Like Arsenal have one approach to their game. Man City have one approach to their game. We actually have a Xerxes, a false 9, if you want to play a certain system. Then we have an Mbeumo if you want to play a certain system. Then we have a Sesko if you want to play. We actually have players there where we can actually field and have different approaches to games based on our personnel because they're so different. And that is what I want to see from Carrick, because he openly talks about having different types of personnel to affect the game in different ways. And I want him to show that now. I want him to use these different personnels. I want him to use Ahmad against a low block, because Ahmad against low blocks, crazy. Give Ahmad that one. If Ahmad is 1-on-1 with a defender on the edge of the box on a low block, he's getting into the box. And if you touch him, you're going to concede a penalty. So against low blocks, do not start Brandon Mbeumo, who relies on space behind to operate. Start an Ahmad. Use your brain now, Carrick. Start to do what you told us you're going to do and adapt to different games, different opponents, to different situations and environments. That is all I want to see from this guy. Anyway, guys, that's my team. Big up the chat. Big up T Kizzles in the building. Atcho as well, my guy. Ahmad is young, says TK. Young players get butt hurt much faster. Yeah, I hear you, but he just needs to relax, TK, Ahmad. He's my guy, Ahmad, but he needs to relax himself a little bit. Ahmad. I start the lineup you have up now. Sesko and Mbumo on the bench, says TK. Yeah, why not? Try it. It won't happen, guys. Sexy won't start. It just won't happen. But I would love for it to happen. Big up everybody. I completely agree, Chosen. My thing is the technicality of the midfield is not to the point where they can facilitate seamlessly. So we need the 9 helping out. Hence why the issue I have with the double pivot 4-3-3 as opposed to the single pivot 4-3-3 with 2 8s, like the Rodri, the Man City 4-3-3 with Rodri and 2 8s, or the what would you say Arsenal's 4-3-3? Arsenal's 4-3-3 is it's Zubimendi with Declan and Odegaard. No, it's 4-2. Arsenal played 2 double pivots with Odegaard as the 10 and Declan as the shuttle runner, the number 8, and Zubimendi as a 6. We don't have a clear 6. So sometimes I see Cass pick the ball up from the defense. Sometimes I see Mainu. I feel like Mainu is probably more the 6. But then, and Cass is a shuttle runner. But Cass can't do that. And the issue that we have is that Bruno, he's supposed to join in the midfield and make it a 3-man midfield. And the issue we're always going to have with Bruno playing the 10 role is those 2 midfielders will be exposed. Against Newcastle, they were badly exposed against Newcastle, and Newcastle outran us, outfought us. Fernandes, Bruno, is ill-disciplined. He plays as a striker a lot of the times rather than a number 10, rather than a 3rd midfielder. That's one of the big issues we have. One of them. But it is what it is. Big up the chat. Big up the community. The game is on Sunday at 2 p.m. I think. Is it 2 p.m., guys? I think it's at 2 p.m. So we'll be back here. If it's a 2 p.m. kickoff, we will be back here at 1:45 on Sunday. If it is a 4:30 kickoff, then we'll be here at 4:15. So it is a 2 p.m. kickoff. We will be back here on Sunday. Hopefully, by the time we kick off, Liverpool and other teams around us would have shit their pants and shit their bed and fucked up somehow. We hope. We hope and we pray. Big up the chat. It's always good to touch base. Next season, assuming we finish in the top 4, guys, we will be doing a lot more shows because we will be playing at least twice a week. So big up the community. Big up the chat. Like I said, guys, if one of you guys, any of you guys want to think about doing a show, coming on here for a little half an hour, having a chat. I know Acho is very opinionated. Let's start doing that. Let's start thinking about how we could do a show. If anybody's got the time to dedicate weekly to do a show, let's start building this thing more. Rather than it just being me, it could be all of us. So, and it is all of us, but more you guys. Because listen, I love communicating with you guys through the chat and whatnot. But if we could do a show where you guys can also jump on and, you know, chat verbally, that would also be awesome. I think it will make the channel grow as well. So Discord is there. You know, I'm there in Discord. I jump in. I reckon I jump in the Discord 3 or 4 times a week. See what the guys are doing, touch base with the guys, see what's going on. But it's a small channel. We know it's a small channel. We know what it is. But we're here, guys. And we're growing. Like I said, start of the season, 250 subs. Now we're 600 plus. And we could do a lot better. But YouTube also needs to do their thing and push the channel. Actual's funny. Actual, why are we voting? What are we voting for me? They're waiting for you to do the show, to be the new mains. to do the co-hosting. I'm saying, Atro, if anybody in the chat wants to chop it up for half an hour or 45 minutes, do a little show where we just have a conversation, you know, I feel like we can start thinking about that. But it depends on availability. People are busy. And the thing about people are busy, and not everyone has that time to every single week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. without fail to do. Now that's difficult. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. to do the show, regardless. So it's about time and dedication as well. Acho says, I'm camera shy. Bro, I used to be camera shy too, man. I feel like I stopped giving a fuck. I think there was a time where I was like, I can't do this YouTube thing, whatever. But then after a while, I was like, hold on a second. Oh, what the fuck, man? I don't care. I don't care if I'm ugly. I don't care. I just don't care. Yeah. Even that, TK. Even that. Listen, I'm open, bro. To suggestions, bro. But we need to start. Like I said, the texting is cool. But if you guys can jump on, I reckon we can even do the voice thing, where you don't need to show your face, but I can hear your voice. So we can do it like that as well. The thing is, I'm not the IT guy, and these kind of things go over my head, bro. So that's why things are slow to happen, because I'm IT illiterate, bro. Literally. I'm smart when it comes to everything else. Everything else in my life, I can get it. When it comes to IT, I'm just like, no. Get the fuck out of there with this ones and zeros and Java and all that shit. Get the fuck out of there with that. Man said guest appearance. Atro's guest appearance, you know. I love that. Oh, he's not on YouTube. I don't think you have to be. Oh, you're not on I'm not on the YouTube fame. I just want to build a community of a decent size where we can just talk ball, come here, just express yourselves. A community where I get monetized, because I'm not monetized yet. So all of this stuff I'm doing is it's difficult, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy, especially for free. Yeah. So my aim is to build I don't want a large community. I don't want 50,000, 10,000. I don't think I need that. I need a nice sized community of decent people who know ball, can talk ball. Nobody's pissing no one off. Everyone's respectful. Everyone gets a chance to talk, and just chilled, bro. I'm a chilled Jamaican guy, bro. Until I'm not chilled. You know them ones. So that's all I want. I want to be monetized, so when I'm doing this, I know that at least I'm getting two or £3 in my pocket. You know, give me £4. give me at least give me lunch money for a day. Give me money so I can buy a sandwich. You know them ones. Right now I'm getting nothing. So, oh no, TK's a fool. Once people see my mug, you might lose subs, bro. Everyone's got their face, bro. You can't change what you look like. Anyway, people, right? It's been lovely, man. It's been fun, guys. Yeah, Sunday. If there's a nice juicy game on the weekend, I might go live as I do. Other than that, guys, see you on Sunday. Enjoy your Friday. Have fun. Always listen. I say this all the time. Life is short. Enjoy your life. Yeah, enjoy it. As long as you're not hurting nobody, enjoy it, because we only get one of these bitches. Just one time. There's no do-overs. So big yourselves up. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see all of you